You said you'd never schedule your life around a stuffed animal.
Nobody panic. Bun Bun is still at daycare.
You said you'd never give in to demands.
2 kids' meals. And a chocolate shake.
And never put them in harm's way.
I'll be right back, little man. Just gonna pop in the store for diapers.
But never happens. And no amount of time is okay to leave your child in a car by themselves.
Long line today.
Temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you every time you park the car. Stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
As Guam recovers from Super Typhoon Bavi, GTA is here to help you stay connected and keep you moving. For a limited time, get $400 off any new premium smartphone with eligible plans. Or bring your own phone to GTA and receive up to $300 in account credits. To support your recovery, you'll also receive a free $100 76 fuel gas card. Terms and conditions apply. Visit any GTA retail store today. GTA, we start with you.
When families feel safe, communities grow stronger. Senator Chris Duenas passed the Malik Act to put more officers on our streets and confront the meth crisis hurting too many of our people. He led efforts to expand affordable housing through the additional dwelling unit and advanced nitrate bills. And now he is authoring his second balanced budget that protect essential services while supporting private sector jobs. Steady leadership, real results. Re-elect Chris Duenas. He's focused, balanced, and ready.
I'm Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
Looking for a school that brings out the absolute best in your child? Welcome to Mount Carmel Academy Charter School, where our students are winning big across the island. We're celebrating our island-wide science fair winners, our Chamorro language competition champions, and the incredible rhythm of our Mount Carmel Phoenix stage band. Plus, we are competing on the mats with our spectacular gold medal-winning martial arts performances. Combined with our championship boys and girls sports programs, we teach discipline, teamwork, and leadership every single day. From academics and culture to music and athletics, we celebrate 69 years of educating the complete child. Enrollment is completely tuition-free. Call Mount Carmel today at 565-5128.
Half a day Agana, is your lunch hour slipping away? Don't settle for snacks. Get a real fast meal at the Agana Shopping Center. If you're on a grab-and-go mission, we got your favorites ready to roll. Swing by Subway, Taco Bell, or Jollibee. Grab legendary snaps from Chan's Hot Dogs, fresh customized bowls from Poke 7, or savory wraps at Dr. Kebab. Plus crispy wings from Vaughn's and ready-to-eat bento and Korean meals at Tokyo Mart and Seoul Mart. Park easy, run in, grab your takeout, and get back to the office with time to spare. Only at Agana Shopping Center.
Balanced, fair, thoughtful. Wave 105 FM.
Welcome to the show, 2:20 in the afternoon. This is the BrightSide right here on Wave 105. We are KGUM FM, Dedido, Guam. Thanks for tuning in. As always, my name is Ryan Nicholas, and it's about that time we pick up the host of the show here on the BrightSide, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
We do want to thank our sponsors, Chili's Grill and Bar. Chili's, more life, great food and memories happen here. Micro Pack for sound tech and everything in between. Think Micro Pack. Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. Triple J, celebrate liberation with the Triple J Ford Liberation Celebration. Prices below dealer cost, thousands off retail, and F-150s that are starting at just $39,995. Visit Triple J Ford today. Customers first. And GTA, we start with you.
Bright side, oh, anytime.
Welcome to it. Another bright side right here on Wave 105. Biba Webes!
Viva!
Thursday, July 23, 671-922-1051 or 1052. You are online. We are online. Wave105.com as well as our YouTube channel, the Wave 105.1 FM Guam. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Thursday afternoon. There's a bunch to talk about. Looks like the legislature is going back into special session.
They should be.
They should have went
2:15?
2:15.
Yeah, they broke for
Lunch. Yeah,
Yeah, because they gotta eat too.
for sure. No,
Hey,
not on our clock.
Not
No
on our
fair
clock.
eating.
Yeah.
Get through this.
Well, aside from the legislature doing what they do, I do got to take a shout out to a good friend of mine, Tammy Bomba. Today is her birthday.
All right.
Yeah, so if you know Tammy, man, I believe she works down at Senator Vince Borja's office. So Tammy, if you're listening, happy birthday. And yesterday was the start of the Leo season.
Okay.
Yeah, so Leo's
July.
Yeah, July 22nd all the way up to August 22nd. I know this because I'm a Leo. My daughter's a Leo. And Tammy's a Leo. So Biba Leos.
Do you believe in all of that horoscope stuff?
I don't subscribe to it, but it's almost like when you read it and it happens, you just can't help man,
It aligns, right?
Maybe the stars are aligned or something.
Yeah.
But I'm not really too into it, but
I know some people that are.
Oh yeah, didn't we do the moon thing?
Yeah,
that
the
we-
moon alert. The moon alert. I've never heard of this moon alert until Ed Suarez from our sister station Power 98 when he would share horoscopes. That's how he starts his morning, right? And so that's not new. I remember as a kid there were many radio personalities that would throw out the horoscopes right for the day to begin the day. And so, but it was the first time I heard anybody saying moon alert. And so, according to the moon alert, it's basically don't spend any money. Don't even go out until we're no longer in a moon alert. And to me, that's just just not realistic.
It's funny because we both are kids of cops, right? And I know a couple cops police officers that do not send their kids out if there's like a full moon. It's just bad juju, right? To the point everybody's acting a fool. I didn't believe this, but then when I went back to L.A. and I was staying there, they were doing the same thing. I guess the moon brings out the craziness in you. So
the freaks come out at night.
The freaks come out at night, pretty much. And so here in Guam night, the crabs come out at night. And that's both sides.
there's something to it for sure, right? Yeah, but I don't know. I obviously you always focus on situational awareness, right?
Yeah.
And so you can never be too careful nowadays.
The whole thing about the old wives' tale and stuff like that.
Oh,
Superstition
yeah.
And I don't know. I don't subscribe to it, but
I just don't want to discredit anybody else's. It's like, okay, I can respect it.
Well,
just as long as you're not pushing it on me.
A friend of mine.
You have your beliefs and I have my beliefs.
Yeah. Well, actually, a friend of mine that's not from here, right? She moved to Guam and she had an experience with, the
Tautamona?
The first people, the Tautamona and everything. And so, again, when she was telling me this, I'm like, man, you know what? I haven't experienced it, right? I've never seen the duendes. I actually have friends that say they have seen it. I'm like,
Same.
It's probably a cat, bro, or something.
I've had
right?
colleagues
share
with me, that they've had, their experiences, Tautamona experience. Yeah.
There was a one of my friend's grandfathers, right? He was already old and, pretty much dementia, right? And so he would walk the village. And everybody knows this guy, right? They see him, and so they know that he'll come back. But there was one time where he did, and he didn't. And he was gone for a couple of days that they had to call, GPD, and then they had this whole search. Even the National Guard got involved. Everybody, the Navy, HC-5, the helicopters and everything. And they even brought in priests and Surhanus and Surhanas, right? My friend was telling me, is like, yeah, we had one lady that came in with a candle, and wherever the flame went, wherever it flickered to, left or right or straight, that was the direction where his grandfather went. But so after a couple of days, they actually found him, and he was in the thorn bush, and he was like not injured at all from the thorns. And the only way you can actually get in there is to have scratches and everything. But when they did find him, they cut off the bushes and everything and all, not one scratch. And so they were saying that he was drunk and brought in by the duendes, and then he grew back. But that I'm like, wow. I mean, they even had the Santo Nino statue, the one with the crown.
Okay.
And they were levitating, and wherever it tilts and everything. I mean, I was like, really, dude? It was like, yeah. I mean, and this happened like I want to say early '80s, around that time. And so I don't know. I mean,
I'm not going to discredit anybody's story.
I am not. But I will tell you this. I did have an experience, and I will never forget it, right? So, we had just come back from the States, and we moved into this house in Agani Heights. Now, we know the family because I was born and raised in Agani Heights, and I knew the sons, but we were already much older. And so the gentleman, he was a Filipino guy, him and his wife, they were Filipino descent, and they stayed in Agani Heights, right? And we knew them. Well, his wife passed away, but she was very, very religious, and she had like a shrine of all of the saints and everything, right? And so the kids that stayed back, his kids that stayed back in the States were like, Dad, you have to come out. You're already getting of age, and, you're here and we're back there and everything. So he was moving, but, he met my mom, and he was like, hey, I'm renting out my place. And we had just came back, right? And so we're like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. We'll watch your house. And a beautiful house, mind you. And so my mom was like, okay, we're moving in. And so the shrine was there. He just left everything, right? And so my mom was like, you know what? Just start moving all the saints and just put it in a box and everything. And I started doing it. And I kid you not, Pauly, the moment I started feeling flustered. I was sweating. I was gasping for air. I just didn't know. And then I had some like pain on my shoulder, like somebody was preventing me from doing it.
Right.
And even my mom saw it, and she was like, boy, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not feeling good, know? And then my mom automatically knew, and she just started talking. And she's like, hey, I guess I forgot the name of the lady, but yeah, she was like, we're not here to mess anything up. We're just, I already spoke with your husband, and, we're here to take care of your house and everything. And 5 minutes after that, I felt like I drank electrolytes, and I felt like I was good and everything. So do I believe in stuff like that? I do. I really do, because it happened to me. And I after that, I never had a bad experience. Once we got the blessing from the lady of the house that passed away, she, everything was good.
Oh, I believe for sure. Yeah. I think it all even just comes down to respect again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so maybe you don't subscribe, or that is not your faith, or that's not something that you believe in. But when you respect other people's beliefs or customs, right, that goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
even for those that have come before us that are no longer here in this lifetime, you still respect, that. The same when you go to a cemetery.
Yeah,
nobody just goes in and honks horns and jumps around at a cemetery. No, you have respect for the dead.
Or like if you're not from here and you sit on an
on a latte. Yeah,
you're
running through the jungle and being completely disrespectful and kicking things down and just being obnoxious.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
So we went to Tangeesan, right? Me and my hiking group, and of course, we invite people that are not from here to, hey, let's go, show the beauty of the island. And so you had, some kids that were not from here, and they were just loud in the jungle, and I'm like, somebody's gonna get pinched, somebody's gonna get sick, and and I hate to say it, but these kids were brats. Okay, I'm just gonna pull it out there, but and when I saw him pulling on, because you could tell, man, in the jungle where there's rocks and everything, but this one had the lumut,
Oh, wow.
And it was just perfect. I mean, it looked like an ancient family would sit down there and have, lunch and everything. It was so pristine and everything, and there was like plants and everything right there, like flowers and everything, and this young kid was pulling it and just kicking, just pulling everything, and I'm like, hey, don't do that, and to the point where like, hey, stop that, because I'm with you now and everything. And so I even had to tell the parents, I'm like, yeah, you don't want to do that in the jungle. We just finished asking for permission to be in here. And
that doesn't give you the authority to act the fool.
Yeah, that doesn't fly
right
here, and it's like, oh, we are so sorry. The parents apologize, and it's like, because the end result would be your kid can really, really get sick. So you got to watch out. And they knew they apologized and everything, and they were very respectful. And I think that's a lot of the people that come here to Guam. They do. Because when you go to Japan, you do as the Japanese do. You do as the Romans do. I even in the most scummiest place that I would visit, even like the ghetto Philippines and everything, you would never see me spit. I smoke, and I would look for a trash can to throw my bud and everything, regardless how the place looks, whether it's ghetto or it's like out of this world.
Sure.
It's just common sense. I'm not from here. I'm going to respect, and I think that's what GVV has to push to as well.
Yeah. It goes a long way, right?
Yeah. And a lot of the graffitis that we see, I'm not putting it on anybody. I think anybody that does that and just deface, pretty much the beauty of this island, whether you're Chukis, Chamorro,
right.
Filipino, Japanese, and everything, just stop it. It's just common sense. Just basic respect.
It's bad now for sure, but I remember as a kid when it was out of control. So much so that I remember when you could go into Ace Hardware and buy a permanent marker, and then you couldn't.
Yeah.
Until you were 18,
I believe,
and had a parent. Spray paint was the same thing, but even just a permanent marker, it was that bad because the bus stops were out of control. And is there graffiti today? Yes.
Yeah.
But I remember even without social media, that was the constant messaging. That was, as a kid, we knew that this was a big problem. All over the island, just the disrespect on graffiti. And so, those laws curbed it. Still, here we are today. It's still a problem.
I want to say it was Tony Lamarena that introduced that bill with the spray paint.
Spray paint, even permanent marker, you can't. To this day, a minor can't walk in and buy a permanent marker.
Yeah, it's sad that it has to come to that because But then, I realized that I do remember, the little initials on the bus stop, like Ryan and so forever with a heart. or you're carving it on the wall,
even
on
our
wood.
desk. Even our desk, our school desk.
And it's usually in woodworking.
Our school desk was just pen, marker, pencil. I remember playing what do you call it? The pencil fight. We used to always play pencil fight. The back of the bus, all the broken pencils everywhere.
Yeah, and it's still here. And you're right. It did get worse, but it just comes down to teaching your kids. Parents have to understand that when they go to school, they're not babysitting for how many hours they're there. the respect starts at home. And if your kids aren't showing it, there's probably something going on in the home front. Either you're not parenting correct, or you're just ignoring your kids, or you're spoiling your kids that they feel they can get away with anything they want. And, it's almost a stepping stone. And I'm sure your dad would agree with me on this, that if it doesn't start at an early age, it's gonna morph into something worse as the older they get.
Yeah.
And that's the God honest truth. I mean, we see the trends all the time. I know that when people see your kids, right, they're very respectful and everything, and they say, okay, that's,
I hope.
Like, wow, Pauly's kids are, they're very nice and everything. I mean, my daughter is very respectful for everybody, but when she gets home and it's just me and her, shoots, man, it's like, I'm like, hey, I think you're taking this this father-daughter friendship a little bit too far, girl. Remember, I'm still your dad.
My youngest, he's the tallest out of everybody. He's about 6'2". Oh
gosh.
And this guy, he's like, he likes to mangang me, and like, it's like I'm he would laugh when I would flinch. I'm like, what the heck, the disrespect, making your dad flinch.
Actually,
but he thinks it's funny.
It's actually me doing that to my daughter.
He's all like, and I'm like, and he'd laugh about it. I'm like, the disrespect.
Come here, boy. But how do you discipline a 6'2" foot person?
The thing is funny, and then now with the AI technology, I don't know. I don't mind playing along. I like to play along. So, some of these videos where they're making fun of me might get out, right? Where you take a picture like, hey, I like your fresco shirt, and I want to send the fresco shirt to your other, brother in the States. I'm like, okay. I'm not even thinking otherwise. Then all of a sudden, it's me doing some crazy dance. Like I'm like, how did that happen? I'm not AI. That technology is now available today to the point where you can take a picture of just somebody standing, and now all of a sudden they're doing some random dance. I was like, what is that? And so, I'm actually impressed with my dance skills because I can't dance like that. But that's the technology that's available. Hafaday, Wave 105, you're on the air.
Hafaday, Wave 105, you're on.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi.
Oh, good. Hi. Good afternoon. Nice conversation, gentlemen. I don't mean to change the subject.
Go for it. You can change the subject anytime.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to say kudos to the Liberation Queen and her entourage.
Okay.
I really feel, they really worked hard, and I just feel bad for them because, the parade was a culminating activity, right? That was the highlight of the event, and I just hope the Liberation Committee next year maybe extend an invitation for them to participate in the parade. Why not, right? I mean, they were deprived of it this year. It's not their fault or the government's fault. It was Mother Nature's fault, I guess. What do you think, gentlemen?
Oh, absolutely. It is.
Totally agree.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, especially the Queen. What's her name? Whatever. Queen.
She's from Zotnya.
Anyway, not only is she pretty, but, she sold the most tickets.
Right.
I believe I read in the paper she also won the native costume and, 3 or 4 categories. And the girls are so gracious, and the highlight of this year's event was the night market, it was nice, but wasn't exactly a parade.
Her name is Queen Ella Marie Cepeda from Zotnya.
Ellen Marie, yeah, she's a real pretty girl, real nice girl, and even I saw them, and and the other candidates, the other princesses, I guess. Anyway, food for thought for the committee for next year. Please extend an invitation for this year because it's, they worked just as hard as any other year, and it wasn't their fault.
We were speaking with Mayor B.J. Talai, right? And so he is the chairman on the committee for the Liberation Pageant, right? And so he's a big advocate, right? And so we were having a conversation maybe 2 weeks ago about the possibility of even engaging more with GVB, because obviously the Queen, especially the Queen, is an ambassador. And so utilize her in her position when they travel, you know, and give her even give her the ability to talk to visitors too, like give her the mic and express how much she loves the island of Guam and how beautiful Guam is, coming from the Liberation Queen. I think that would be very special for visitors to hear, even if they don't understand her, you know, English. I mean, you're just the position itself.
What do you think
can have value?
What do you think of this idea, ma'am? Where they do go on for next year to have a pageant, but she should still reign as Queen Regent, pretty much. So now you have two queens, right?
Yeah, I like that idea.
I mean, because her reign is pretty much almost falls short with everything that's happened with the typhoons and whatnot. So I think it would do her some justice to still have her next year, even though they have a new queen, but she's considered Queen Regent.
Yeah, still on the parade route and whatnot, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's what she was saying. Like invite them.
Yes.
In the 83rd parade, right? Right, ma'am?
Great idea, gentlemen. Great. Both ideas are great. Anything above and beyond this year's.
Yes.
I think would be a plus, and will be, you know, those girls. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime experience, and there's so much to learn. I mean, I'm sure they learned a lot.
Right.
Yes,
you know, and they can't do it again. This is a one-time deal.
Right.
I mean, they can't just run again next year, right? I wouldn't. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Anyway,
Thank you,
food for
ma'am.
thought.
Thank
Okay,
you.
have a great
Appreciate
afternoon.
it.
Enjoy
too.
your conversation.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad that she brought that up too. Yeah, because it shouldn't just be after the parade. You know, that's it. Like, use this position, the history of the Liberation Queen. It goes further, but it goes far back. You know, and so when we also look at some of the prestigious pageants, like the Miss Universe and Miss World, Miss Earth, Miss International. Like we're not competing anymore, at least not here.
Yeah.
Right? We're not having these pageants here.
No.
And crowning a Miss Universe and crowning a Miss World.
We're still there. It's just, you know, it's
Well,
not
somebody else is representing us somewhere from somewhere else. So what I'm saying is this pageant continues to happen, or this crown, Liberation Queen continues to be crowned year after year.
Yeah.
Right? And so we can elevate it even more by partnering up more with these travels. Since they're already happening, since these travels are happening, I think we can partner up more with GVB or whoever is traveling. So it's not just a 2 or 3 month stint.
Yeah.
Right? Because what happens after Liberation Parade for the Liberation Queen?
No,
Not much.
I get it.
Right?
Because,
Not much.
mean, past pageant winners, right, that went on to become Universe, World, it was in the GVB budget. Wherever they travel, they were going there with their crown.
Yeah.
And hopefully GVB is not rewriting the book and reinventing the wheel.
She should be going on these trips.
She should be going on these
that
trips.
should be part of the whole reign.
You know, the 200,000
that it doesn't end at the parade.
The 200,000 that they spent for Washington D.C. She should have been on that plane.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because I mean, there's the memorials.
Yes.
There's, I believe, a breakfast. Then there's the parade, and then that's it. There's nothing more for a queen to do after August.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it should. I don't know how it works, but I think because there is no Miss Guam Universe, no Miss Guam World, no Miss Guam International, the focal point should be this, and they should start early. Because I don't know if it just starts a couple of months before the Liberation.
June
Starts in June. It should start on January. And,
right?
and that would be, the mark to start, doing what you need to do, raising funds, for the liberation, and it should start, and then that way the reign can be from January
Can
to
really
January.
be a whole
Exactly.
year. I mean, because technically the reign is a whole year.
Mhm.
But I
in
mean,
mid-year.
after the parade,
Yeah.
there really isn't, there isn't many opportunities for Miss Liberation Queen to be out in the community.
Yeah.
Maybe traveling, maybe going out to like San Diego,
Mhm.
for maybe that's what they're
PFA,
doing. Yeah, for those events, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't even know if that is the case. If it's not, they definitely should look into that.
Well, definitely, the Liberation Day Queen should be an ambassador, for every function that promotes Guam.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a given, right there. You can't get more Guam than promoting your island, our own queen that we recognize, right? So no, I totally agree, and thanks for that call. I mean, she did bring up a lot of points. Yeah.
2:50 in the afternoon. Let's take this quick break, and then we'll be right back. Yeah.
Yes, we can do that. 2:48.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Yeah. What do you got? 2:50. I got 2:48 on my time.
It don't matter to me, to be honest with you. It's all within a minute of each
Okay,
other, right?
all right, yes.
So we'll take the break, and then on the other side, we'll probably start touching on this this bill that the governor has sent down and how that all worked out. Finally, we got them in the committee of the whole after so many recesses. And so so far they have only tackled, they're in the middle of the conversation about providing funds for the recovery of Typhoon Bobby.
Indeed.
And so we'll get into that on the other side of these, which will probably continue into the 3 o'clock hour right here on Wave 105.
Some SUVs get you where you're going. The all-new 2026 Mazda CX-5 is designed to move you. Experience a refined interior, intuitive technology, a stunning redesigned exterior, and a new 15.6-inch touchscreen display. All crafted with the quality and attention to detail Mazda is known for. Now available at Triple J starting at just $29,995 or from as low as $198 per paycheck. Visit Triple J in Upper Tumon or get pre-approved instantly at triplejguam.com. The all-new Mazda CX-5 designed to move you. Triple J, customers first.
Military officer, law enforcer, policymaker. Service has been the cornerstone of Congressman James Moylan's life. James Moylan swore to protect America as an officer in the United States Army. As a parole officer, James worked with families affected by substance abuse and domestic violence. He was elected to the 35th and 36th Guam legislatures, and now James Moylan represents Guam's needs in our nation's capital as a member of the United States Congress. Congressman Moylan has fought for more than $3 billion for Guam, including almost $1 billion in military construction and roads, and law enforcement and first responder vehicles and equipment. Moylan is also working vigorously on standing up a regional office right here on Guam, a game changer for our 25,000 plus veterans, 40 years and 4 oaths. Dedicated, resilient, trustworthy, and proven. That's James Moylan. Re-elect James Moylan for Congress. Moylan works.
I'm James Moylan, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by James Moylan for Congress. David L. Camacho, Treasurer.
Pat's Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. And to keep you cool, Pat's also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and base-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLAM.
The road to Adelup is here, and this time we spoke with Democrat candidates, Senator Torius Terlahi and Senator Sabina Perez. Here is your opportunity to hear how they plan to govern Guam. Watch the conversation on Wave 105's YouTube channel, dated May 28th. This is a glimpses of Guam radio station.
This is Tierra. Oh, we could be on a desert, lost without a place.
in love with each other that you wouldn't even know.
Welcome back to the show. This is The Bright Side right here on Wave 105. Here's the number 671-922-1051 or 2. Give us a call and talk to this gentleman right here, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
Once again, thanks for hanging out. 671-922-1051 or 1052. We are online, thewave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. And so earlier this morning around 10 a.m., the legislature was in the Committee of the Whole, and Senator Chris Duenas asked Lester Carlson, the director of BBMR, to explain why the governor is asking the legislature to approve funding for three priorities, right? $13.36 million for Super Typhoon Bobby response and recovery, $11 million for child care subsidy payments, $17.65 million for the Guam International Airport Authority. And so they begin talking about where this money is going to come from. And so Lester Carlson says this money is not coming from the fiscal year 2027 budget that lawmakers just passed earlier in the week. Obviously, it still needs the governor's signature on it.
Yeah.
Instead, it comes from extra revenue collected during fiscal year 2026 that was higher than expected. And so according to BBMR's latest revenue report, which is their CRER, government collected about $88.6 million more than originally budgeted. And so after accounting for $20 million already set aside for GMH, $890,000 for the legislature, $5.1 million needed to cover special fund shortfalls, there's still about $57.6 million available. And so the government does have enough money to pay for this request without affecting fiscal year 2027 budget.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
Because you said something about $20 million going to GMH.
Yeah, set aside out of that $88.6 million.
And that came from last fiscal year's budget.
The current fiscal year, 2026.
The 2026 budget. Okay, but for the 2027, you had Senator Sabrina Salas asking for another $20 million?
Yeah.
What in the world is she
Operations.
doing? Wow. I mean, was that a writer? Because I know she was making amendments, acting, all bothered about, not getting the $20 million, but you got the $20 million on the prior year budget. Wow, that's very, very interesting. So technically, $40 million going to GMH. Oh, wow, man. Must be election year.
Well, I mean, we know, right? I mean, this is the constant conversation with GMH from administrators saying you can't turn people away, right? And
you cannot put Band-Aid on a wound that just keeps bleeding out. Come on, the hospital people. Work with the budget you have, because, again, this budget right now that they just passed has no more money. There's only $40 million, and that $40 million that they have left, that's where she's looking to get that $20 million. And you got to look at all the other things. You have the airport, like you said, is asking for what, 17?
Yeah, and so Lester is putting it all together, saying there is enough money to $13 million for response and recovery for Bobby, 11 for the child care subsidy payments, 17 for the Guam International Airport, and then, yes, $20 million already set aside. Lester said it's already been set aside because the government has collected about $88.6 million more than originally budgeted for fiscal year 2026. So, yes, all of that, when you're not talking about fiscal year 2027, because fiscal year 2027 has its own amendments, right? That go all the way to $250 million. Yeah. So Lester only wants to talk about the things that the governor is prioritizing to pay for with the excess revenue for this fiscal year,
2026.
Which is $88.6 million. And so with that $88.6 million, Lester said they have already set aside $20 million for Guam Memorial Hospital, $890,000 for the legislature. We know all about that, right? To be honest with you, I believe that's the whole reason why the YouTube is also even more stable, right? That it's not dropping off. So they're using some of that money. Remember, they're talking about audio, visual. They wanted to pay for more resources to go towards the AV system.
As they should, because it is public law that everything has to be on.
It has been more stable since they got that $890,000.
It happens to be the open government law that they have to follow. So, I mean, they have to televise it.
And then we know some of that money was supposed to go towards that AI contract. They pulled away. However, there's still some money that was paid out.
For what? That's what I want to
For
know.
what?
Yeah.
Because some senators are saying, well, Senator Chris Barnett on the record says, I haven't used it. You know? So who has used it? And remember, he was looking around during the budget session.
Yeah.
Who here can say that they've utilized it? And for how much? And for how? And what did you use it for?
How long and how much did you pay out?
And they all just looked at. Nobody wanted to talk.
Oh wow, crickets.
Yeah, not even.
Jeez.
Not even Mr. B. What do you call it? OFB, Mr. Guerrero. He's like,
Wow.
I don't know that information.
Yeah.
So clearly, OFB didn't use that AI.
Well, I'm glad.
Software.
I'm glad Senator Tony stopped the contract. But no, the question now is how much.
How
was
much
paid out?
was paid out?
Steve
did say the number. I don't have it in front of me. He did say the number was that there was a payout during the budget session.
You know,
and then Chris was like, "Anybody want to say what they used it for?"
No,
and then nobody did.
And see that you know, it's taxpayer money being used. So that contract that they went into has to have. I mean, it has to be publicized. You know, how much was paid out, who are the people behind the scenes.
I don't think you can, right? I think as long as you just say who the business is.
It's taxpayer money.
But it doesn't go as far. I mean, we can go into the legislature's website.
Do we have to FOIA?
I've tried that before.
Wow.
I've tried it before.
Wow.
And I don't really get, I haven't gotten far. Not specifically on that, but on draft legislation to defund government agencies. They're like, oh, there is none. I'm like, but how did it get to draft form?
Yeah.
I'd like any meetings.
Are you talking about the rifle project or the rifle?
The director, who is Joanne Camacho, said there is nothing to present to you because there's nothing. I'm like, but there's a draft.
Yeah.
So
no,
what?
And
how
Senator
did you?
Sabrina Salas said
how
that
did you
on,
get to?
Yeah.
How did you get to draft form?
She said
you're
that,
telling me there's no conversation.
She said it on session floor. It was a draft form that was leaked.
Yeah.
Okay. But then somehow it ended up with a letterhead to on the governor's desk, you know, indicating, you know, these are the agencies that will be leaked. I mean, that will be zeroed out as far as their budget is concerned. So if there is a form, at least the people understood the intent because the letter was out.
Right. I'm trying to find it. I'm on their website right now, but I know I once looked into this. And I wonder if it's procurement. No, it's contracts. So if you go to the Guam Legislature's YouTube channel, I'm sorry, just their website, guamlegislature.gov.
Okay.
And under finances, there's a drop down, right? And so you would click on contracts. When you click on contracts, it gives you fiscal year 38 legal and professional services, right? And then there's also
that's legal counsel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's professional services too. So if you click on that, Central Operations, Law Office of Phillips and Bordalio is on there. There's the TRST Guam LLC terminated. You click on that. it says to Michael F.Q. Nicholas.
That's it.
TRST-Guam LLC. So that's who it is. Who is associated with TRST Guam LLC. And it has been terminated. The terminated contract is right there when you click on that. 3:03 in the afternoon, we're going to get the Associated Press news update on in just a bit, and then we'll take a quick break. On the other side, we'll break down even more of what happened this morning. Senator Chris Duenas has his concerns. Speaker Frank Blas Jr. has his concerns as well. It definitely got heated when the Mayor's Council director was very concerned with how the money is being distributed to the mayors.
And you can't pull over one on her. That's
Georgine Arceo.
That's her
bread and butter.
Bread and butter, and that's her deal right there. That's her jam.
She straight up said, "You want to audit us? We're ready. The Mayor's Council of Guam is ready for any audit. I can assure you this."
I think procurement is her specialty.
That's the whole reason why they hired her.
Exactly.
All right, we'll take the break. KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam. Time for your AP News update.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. In West Virginia, Governor Patrick Morrisey has deployed hundreds of National Guard members after torrential rains hit the state, causing flash flooding.
Right now, we're in the phase of search and rescue. We remain in a position where we're looking to identify any individual who we might be able to save. And so we're always looking for new information and new tips. But that's critical because while we have a lot of resources that we've deployed, that remains job number one.
Morrisey says there are people unaccounted for, but he didn't say whether there have been any deaths. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Bertha's made landfall on the southern tip of Louisiana. It's been moving slowly along the Gulf Coast, with winds extending as much as 100 miles from its center. Robbie Berg at the National Hurricane Center.
We are still expecting some areas, especially in Louisiana and Mississippi, to see upwards of 2 to 4 feet of storm surge, especially where those winds are blowing onshore.
U.S. Central Command's conducting a 12th night of strikes against Iran. Earlier in the day, President Trump warned that the U.S. will destroy one bridge or power plant each time Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign minister says his country will adopt an eye-for-an-eye defense doctrine. Oil prices keep rising as the fighting goes on, Brent crude now above $94 per barrel. And Lorna Petty reports the latest big hacking incident, this one involving OpenAI, was an inside job.
This may sound like the plot of a sci-fi movie, but OpenAI's system just went rogue and hacked into another company. ChatGPT maker OpenAI was testing a combination of AI models. The models became so hyper-focused on completing the test that they identified on their own that AI startup Hugging Face was a place that might hold the solutions. So they tried to hack their way in. Hugging Face's security and its own AI agents spotted the attack and stopped the rogue activity. CEO Clément Delong said there didn't appear to be any malicious intent from OpenAI, but called it mind-blowing that AI agents could do something like this entirely on their own.
This is AP News. The White House Correspondents Association will try again to hold its annual dinner Friday night.
The first one in April was cut short when a gunman accused of trying to kill President Trump opened fire at the Washington Hilton. Shortly after,
we'll do it again.
Take two is Friday at a smaller venue with enhanced security. Secret Service Deputy Director Matthew Quinn says it's not just a redo.
We're looking at this as a presidential site with cabinet members and other protectees there.
Former journalists and press freedom groups are asking the Correspondents Association to stand up forcefully for freedom of the press, saying the Trump administration's recent attacks on reporters have become even more egregious. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
KGUM-FM, Dededo, the talk of Guam. This is Wave 105.1 FM, a Glimpses media radio station.
As Guam recovers from Super Typhoon Bavi, GTA is here to help you stay connected and keep you moving. For a limited time, get $400 off any new premium smartphone with eligible plans. Or bring your own phone to GTA and receive up to $300 in account credits. To support your recovery, you'll also receive a free $100 76 fuel gas card. Terms and conditions apply. Visit any GTA retail store today. GTA, we start with you.
What do world champion martial artists Brandon Vera and DJ Jackson have in common with jazz great Patrick Palomo? They all teach Mount Carmel Academy Charter School students. Mount Carmel is now a charter school serving the entire island of Guam, voted Guam's best school, and is tuition free. We begin our 70th year of educating the complete child. Register today. Call 565-5128.
Half a day Agana, is your lunch hour slipping away? Don't settle for snacks. Get a real fast meal at the Agana Shopping Center. If you're on a grab-and-go mission, we got your favorites ready to roll. Swing by Subway, Taco Bell, or Jollibee. Grab legendary snaps from Chan's Hot Dogs, fresh customized bowls from Poke 7, or savory wraps at Dr. Kebab. Plus crispy wings from Vaughn's and ready-to-eat bento and Korean meals at Tokyo Mart and Seoul Mart. Park easy, run in, grab your takeout, and get back to the office with time to spare. Only at Agana Shopping Center.
A message from Joshua Jackson, actor and Fair Volunteer Ambassador.
Food allergy is a serious, life-threatening disease that impacts over 33 million Americans. When your immune system sees certain food proteins as a threat, every bite matters. But here's the good news. There have been advancements in the treatment of food allergies, and with one voice, we can create better awareness. Because in the FAIR community, the disease doesn't own us. We own our journey. Talk to an allergist to understand your options. Visit foodallergy.org/empower to learn more.
The road to Adelup continues. This time, we sit down with Republican candidates. Vice Speaker Tony Atta and E.J. Calvo. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 5th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
I'd like to know, 'cause here I go.
Okay, here comes my favorite part, the horns. Welcome back to the show. This is The Bright Side right here on Wave 105, 671-922-1051, or to give us a call. Talk to this gentleman right here, the host of The Bright Side, Mr. Pauly. Suba, buenas.
Welcome back. We do want to thank our sponsors, Subway. You got to refresh to be fresh. Triple J. Celebrate liberation with the Triple J Ford Liberation Celebration. Prices below dealer cost, thousands off retail. An F-150 starting at just $39,995. Visit Triple J Ford today. Customers first. GTA, we start with you. Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. And Micro Pack. Get your travel cameras and storage essentials at Micro Pack today. Don't miss a memory. 671-922-1051 or 1052. We are online, thewave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. Genesis just reached out to me. Genesis Babauta.
Okay, how is that young
Gecko
gentleman?
of the Year.
That gentleman is always out and about, man.
Yeah.
I love what he does.
He reached out to invite us to the Youth Gubernatorial Forum. And
that's right.
So there is a gubernatorial forum that will be held Thursday, 12 p.m. On July 30th at the Class Lecture Hall at the UOG campus. Genesis is hosting the Youth Gubernatorial Forum.
Nice.
Yes.
Good
So
for him.
again, you can reserve your spot at guamtime.net. Guamtime.net is where you can reserve your spot to attend the Youth Gubernatorial Forum. It says here on the flyer, hear directly from Guam's future leaders as they discuss the issues that matter most to our youth. I think I also saw a press release on that, on his, let me see here. There's something else that I also saved too. Apparently people are betting on the gubernatorial race.
Yeah, didn't
Paula Market, I'm not familiar, but I was able to look at it. I'm like, wait a minute. You're betting to see who's going to win? That's interesting.
I don't know, man.
Real money too.
This election is, man, it's one to watch, right? I don't know if that whole saying, if I'm a betting man.
Yeah.
If I'm a betting man, I know I'm not going to bet because
it can go so many ways, right?
Yeah, and when you think about it, they have 8 more days. Now, in the scheme of things, right? You just
2 more days to early vote.
Yeah.
Well, 3 technically today, right?
Yeah.
And then the 24th and 25th, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know that all the candidates, they're going to be out and about. There are a lot of events happening.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Genesis just talked about the gubernatorial teams that he has. What else?
We have the congressional debate.
Yes.
That PARS is hosting.
Yes. That's
also
happening.
at UOG.
Mhm.
That is next week, Thursday. No, I'm sorry, Tuesday.
Yeah.
July 28th.
And then not the annual, but every election season they do it where people can actually go up and talk to the candidates, and I believe that's happening this weekend at the mall.
Okay.
So
I thought that already happened.
No, it was supposed to happen, but because
and
of
then
the typhoon,
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby kind of got in the way of that, so they kind of pushed it back.
Oh,
And
nice.
So, but on our end, what we're doing, we do this thing called Beyond the Ballot, and we're having one today with former Senator Will Castro and former director of the Mayor's Council,
Angel Sablon.
Yeah, and former director of Parks and Rec, and I believe he also did a directorship at DOC.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this was way back when. So Angel is a walking institute of knowledge, pretty much, when it comes to government functions. And
For
everything.
sure.
So they'll be with us at 4:00 today. So don't forget to tune in. This is where you get to hear their take on certain issues that are currently going on and what they would plan to do should they get elected going into the 39th Guam legislature at 4:00.
And so, again, Genesis Babauta hosting the Youth Gubernatorial Forum, pulling from his release, will happen from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Class Lecture Hall over at UOG. The event will provide Guam's youth with an opportunity to hear directly from the island's gubernatorial candidates as they discuss issues affecting the next generation. The forum is designed to encourage civic engagement, informed voting, and meaningful dialogue between young people and those seeking Guam's highest elected offices. Students and community members will hear candidates respond to questions focused on education, workforce development, healthcare, housing, public safety, economic opportunity, and other issues important to Guam's youth. The event is intended to serve as a nonpartisan educational forum that promotes respectful discussion and informed participation in Guam's democratic process. All gubernatorial teams have been invited to participate. There's a quote from Genesis. This forum is about ensuring young people have the opportunity to hear directly from those who are asking to lead our island. Our goal is to create a space where students can become more informed, ask meaningful questions, and better understand the decisions that will shape Guam's future. In addition to the forum, participating gubernatorial teams will have informational tables available before and after the program, giving attendees the opportunity to learn more about each campaign in an educational setting. Admission is free. However, entry is by ticket only due to limited seating capacity. All attendees must reserve a ticket in advance through guamtime.net. That's guamtime.net. A valid ticket will be required for entry. And so, again, it is free. However, you do need to reserve in advance by going to guamtime.net. This is, again, July 30th. That's next week, Thursday. And it's happening at the Class Lecture Hall at the University of Guam from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It might go a little longer, to be honest with you. There are 5 teams, right? Especially, it can be hard to... It can be challenging to answer some very serious questions in such a short amount of time. And then, like I was sharing, the congressional debate is happening. All 3 of them are attending, from my understanding. And this is next week, Tuesday. Congressional Candidate Forum, Alicia Limtiaco, Jim Moylan, and Mary Torres, right? All candidates for the congressional delegate representative of Guam. And so Tuesday, July 28th, also at the UOG Class Lecture Hall. Doors open at 6 p.m. And so Pacific Association of Radiation Survivors will be hosting this forum. And I'll be moderating too.
On both? Or
Yeah,
just
no, just this one. Just
Okay.
this one.
All right.
And so what we have scheduled for next week, right? You reached out to Charlie already?
Yes, Charlie Hermosa said, you know what? I'm going to do my due diligence, and I'm going to do a public service.
There you go.
And he's going to come in and wreck shop, pretty much.
There you go. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that'll give me an opportunity to get there at
you
a
know.
decent time and prepare.
Yeah.
And do my due diligence and host a proper forum.
Yeah. And so...
well, not host, moderate, because the hosts are Pacific Association of Radiation Survivors. And they'll be here tomorrow to discuss their forum. They'll come in at 3.
Yes.
So tomorrow is going to be STAT, Guam
It's gonna
Behavioral
be
Health.
Guam Behavioral Health.
Yes, and then it
Then
will
the
be our
PARS
friends from
argument.
PARS. And then at 4, we have more candidates coming
More
in, right?
candidates for the Beyond the Ballot segment that we do. And this is our good friend Dave.
Dave Duenas.
Dave Duenas.
Yeah.
No stranger to radio.
Right.
And another person, no stranger to radio, Louise Borja.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I like, you know what,
Correct.
I'm going to put both of you guys.
Yeah.
Both of you radio people, and me and Pauly are just going to take a break.
Right? They don't even need us.
Yeah, you guys just interview yourself.
Yeah, just exactly. Louise is no stranger to the board either.
Exactly. I mean, you know, gosh, man, she's been in radio for a while. I
Yeah.
mean, and of course here too, she was over there at Power, and then what used to be the cat is now the Wave.
Yes,
And
she
so-
built the cat.
Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You know, radio people interviewing radio people.
Right. Right.
It's unheard of.
So they'll be in tomorrow.
Yes, and then on Monday, our good friend Ralphie Scambaluri, whom you met over the weekend, he confirmed for tomorrow, and then former Senator Roy Kanata confirmed for Monday. For our Beyond the Box or Beyond the Ballot segment. So yeah, it's gonna and the closer to the election, you know, it's gonna get more exciting because we also confirmed with Congressman James Moylan's staff that he'll be here on the 31st, because along with the Beyond the Ballot that we're doing for the senatorial candidates, you know, we're not going to let the congressional candidates, not have their time. So I'm still trying to get a hold of Alicia. I did text.
Well, technically, she's moving on anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, she is. Not
yeah.
technically. She is moving
Yeah,
on.
she doesn't. Yeah, they're like, yeah, guys, no, I don't want to. Don't need to. I want to focus on the general. But, you know, I mean, if we can get her, that'll be great.
Sure.
And then former Senator Mary Camacho Torres, I did text her to set her up for Thursday. So
Thursday next week?
Thursday
Yeah,
next week on the 30th. So, and then Sarah Thomas Netadog, Chris Duenas, I did text him. He's going to check his schedule. And then Amanda Shelton.
Right.
All be here on the 30th.
Right.
So it's going to be the congressional, which is Mary Torres, and then the 3 coming in at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. And so, I mean, Senator Cruz Dueñas may not be available.
Yeah.
Just based on what is happening over at the legislature.
Mhm.
Because not only do they have to address what the governor has sent down, but they need to address that supplemental budget bill too. And all of this has to happen like in August, if
Yeah.
not sooner.
Well,
because he said that he is going to, as the person who oversees the finances, he said he will do his very best to make sure that this happens at least beginning August 1st.
Well, it should, you know what, honestly, it should come after the election. I mean, yeah, they have all of August, and, you know, I mean.
And technically not August 1st, sorry, because that is election day.
Election
That's
day.
Saturday.
That's a Saturday.
And then August 2nd is a Sunday.
Yeah.
So it could be August 3rd
Now,
or the week of.
I have full faith and confidence that he's going to make the show. I mean, every time I say, I listen to you and Pauly all the time. I'm like, hey, thanks. You know, so I'm pretty sure he's going to want his airtime too as well.
Sure,
So
yeah.
I'm banking on it. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet on that.
Okay. Apparently, you can bet 50 cents on Paula Market.
So what's the numbers on that? Because I know that we did get something, but did the numbers up or?
Oh, it dropped now. This is interesting. Let me just reset
Because
this.
I didn't see, you know, I didn't open the link, you know, from the person that sent it to me, but yeah.
Okay. The money says Vicente Ada, 76%.
Okay.
Frank Bloss, 22%.
Wow. Because yesterday when
for the
we
primary,
when we
Frank
saw-
Bloss was winning.
Yeah, Frank Bloss was winning.
By like 1%. Probably the Ada Calvo camp got wind of this.
Yeah. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
come on, 51 cents.
You can 79 cents. You're gonna get less than
It's almost
a
like
dollar.
Baca, right?
Yeah.
Like Baca, the Office Baca.
If you bet that Marcel Camacho is gonna win,
Let's talk about snake eyes.
yeah. All you have to do is bet 1 cent, and you'll make way more than that penny. So, let me see here. So yeah, somebody was. This is actually circulating. Actually, is more than one person that forwarded this to me, but this is only for the Guam Governor Republican primary winner, and so people are betting on Paula Market. Obviously, you know they're betting pennies. You can bet more if you want. Let's see here. So again, back to what the legislature was talking about. We only just started talking about Bobby, and every now and then they'll still talk about Sinlaku.
Oh gosh.
And saying that we still need to address some of the issues with Sinlaku.
Okay, I got to find a song for that. I think I got one. We've only just begun.
Yeah. The mayor's council explained that it did not spend all of the Sinlaku funding because the governor's emergency executive order covered only 30 days. And the council believed it could not approve expenses after that 30-day period because the emergency declaration had not been extended. The council said about $1.8 million in Sinlaku funding remained unused. However, BBMR Director Lester Carlson says the law passed by the legislature gave the council continued authority to use the money until it was exhausted, as long as spending reports were submitted. And so there was confusion over whether the 30-day executive order or the public law controlled how long the money remained available. And so DOA Director Edward Byrne explained that the two laws were used with different language. For Sinlaku, the money was made available through the mayor's council normal financial and procurement system. For Bobby, the law said $250,000 should be dispersed to each mayor, plus another $100,000 for the mayor's council administrative office. And so DOA, Edward Byrne, interprets this dispersed, in quotes, to mean that checks should be written directly to each mayor's office. However, that created a whole lot of controversy.
Well, here's the thing. Before you go any further,
Yeah.
both bills were introduced by Adelup, right? For the 25 million, or was it?
No, different senators, were, on behalf of.
Okay.
Where, Senator Therese Talai, I believe, did the Bobby one just because they wanted to get this done pretty quickly within the day before Bobby hit landfall. And then there were a number of amendments. Senator Jesse Lujan had an amendment to give money to GDOE ahead of time to pay for all the resources that are needed
the water
for the
and everything.
shelter.
Yes, exactly. The food.
Yeah.
Guys, you guys had like an AI contract going on. All you had to do was copy and paste.
Yeah, but I think, yes,
because that's the
governor
technicality.
did send the first one down.
Yeah.
And
that was
the Senlaku one
the
down.
Senlaku one.
Right.
Yeah, and so they should have just copied that if that was the case, because the second one came in from the governor too as well, right? Or
went through Taitagui, but there was an understanding that this was needed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all lessons learned from Mawar.
Yeah.
Because they were doing this all after the fact.
Yeah.
And we remember Mayor Jesse Alec was not happy, right, after Mawar. Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, yeah.
Why are we doing this all after the fact? Why are we?
I remember hearing him just putting the debris on the road. I don't have DPW money.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of this was they wanted to be, more prepared.
Yeah.
Right. This is the reason why they went ahead of the landfall and decided to provide money to these agencies before the typhoon came, to prepare for the typhoon, during, right?
And after.
And after.
Yeah.
And so some of that mirrors again, a lot of that mirrors again with what they did with Bobby. However, there was confusion.
No, I get it. I mean, I don't think Byrne is at fault. I mean, but at the same time, he cannot just say okay because this word was there and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's your job. You're the money man. You're the one that disperses it. You know the law, so to follow the law, yes, but previous law takes precedence over this new one, and you could have went back to the legislature and say, hey, there is a little technical issue here with the wording. So, and I'm pretty sure the legislature could have fixed it right off the bat. But he was right. No, they didn't call the mayor's council. Mayor's council didn't call him, and he did admit that communications could have went better. When nobody's talking to each other, there's going to be, foobar pretty much, right?
Well, yeah, and also the concern was the mayor's council apparently was calling DPW. And it's, they're sitting right there this morning, right? DPW directors are right there, and right beside is Jesse Alec and Joy Jean Arceo. And so DPW did not discredit whatever the council was saying. The council says that they were making phone calls and they were not being returned or not being answered in time. And so the council went ahead and purchased and also rented heavy equipment to prepare for the storm and have these available for after the storm.
Yeah.
And so now, when you're talking about the Stafford Act, right? Being able to declare an emergency ahead of time, so that way all of these monies that we spend locally can be reimbursed federally.
Exactly.
And so there's also that. And that is why Joy Jean Arcea goes, you don't need to worry about us. We're covered.
Yeah.
If you need to see any of our documentation, how we procured, I know what's on the market. I've been out there. I know exactly what is available, and not everything is shelf ready.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't just go to, let me have a backhoe.
Yeah, exactly. So I know what is available.
Yeah.
And everything that we purchased and everything we rented
is above board.
All accounted for. So if you have any concerns about us, you really don't need to. we're ready for an audit.
Yeah,
is what Joy Jean said.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're having this topic right now because, like I said, Angel Sablon is going to come in here. I would like to pick his brain about this, man. I'm like, hey, dude, you used to be on that particular hot seat.
Yeah.
What's your take on this?
Right. And so Senator Chris Duenas also was criticizing DOA, saying that DOA should not have independently issued the checks without consulting the council.
Yeah.
Right? And so...
because they wanted to put it in what account?
Every single person, every mayor's. And so...
The miscellaneous account.
Yes.
And that does not fall through with having actual appropriated funds from the legislature.
Well, you're not accounting for all of this money properly.
Because miscellaneous accounts are usually for like donations from the public and everything. And when you start mixing that money with actual government money, then it's going to get lost in translation, lost in the sauce. And try doing an audit on that.
Right.
So no, good for Chris Duenas,
right,
bringing this to light.
So again, Edward Burns says he defends the decision by saying that the law required the money to be dispersed directly to the mayors. And Senator Chris Duenas disagrees. He said the law of accounting and responsible financial management should have taken priority. Right? And so, and that's when Joy Jean Arceo goes, yeah, that's, you don't get to disperse monies to individual mayors. Because now, how are we going to account for that? I am the procurement officer. It needs to come to the council, and then I will do the purchases
and do the disbursements of whatever funds is there, because there is a total accounting.
So we can account for every penny. Wow. This is the people's money. And she says, I'm glad we're doing this all in public. I'm glad this is all here right now. Let's have that conversation right now. And so...
And that's what... It goes back to what I said. Burns knows the law. And if he saw that, we can give it out individually, he knows the channels of how to get the money to them. And if this new law, that they pass, and there's laws in the books, and if there is, kind of like a conflict, then you go with the book, you go with the law in the books already. And if that can't happen, then you take it back to the legislature and you tell them, this is bad. You got to change this.
Right.
This little one word.
Well, again, when you look at all of what needs to be accounted for, Senator Chris Duenas says the government needs to account for approximately $22.4 million in combined special fund shortfalls, $890 for the legislature, $20 million for GMH, and $5 million for Department of Corrections. So he hasn't forgotten that. And after subtracting those amounts, Duenas calculates that about $40.3 million would remain. And so his concern was that the administration may be counting money as available, even though some of it may be needed to cover existing shortages. And so that's when Lester Carlson says property taxes will cover the shortfall. Because remember, the property taxes were coming in slow because there was a delay, right? And then now we're starting to see some of that money. So if there is a shortfall, they know where they will cover it. It will be covered through the property taxes. So Senator Chris Duenas is still concerned, though. He says the legislature should not appropriate money based only on hope that revenue will arrive several months later. I mean, it has to. Otherwise, you're going to get, people that own property, I know that you're going to, you don't want to lose your property.
There's a difference between hope and need, right?
Right. So Lester says that that's usually, and not this time around, but in the past, he has said property tax is pretty much a sure thing. People pay their property tax here in Guam.
Well, not when Reverend Tax has not passing out the bills and their system is down and everything. I mean, it's good for the people paying, because, hey, it's not my fault you guys didn't give me the bill, because we had that mishap in a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But they got it taken care of, and now people are paying their bills. So hopefully,
Right.
Oh, man.
We'll take the break.
Yes.
3:37 in the afternoon. I know we got to also look at the roadways too,
Yes,
right?
Let's do that right about now. The 3:36 in the afternoon. And so what it means is we are going to go out to the roads of Guam, take a first look at traffic of the day as we help you move forward along with Guam Auto Spot. Standing by, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
All right, let's check it out here. Handy-dandy glimpses of Guam traffic app. Light work, most of your major roadways. Too many issues here. Route 4 in Hagåtña headed towards Salampago, Ordot. Light traffic in this area heading left onto Route 10. Light work there as well. I'm looking at all of Route 10 at this point. Getting towards the tri-intersection, I don't see too many issues there. Over at the overpass on Route 16 near where we are at, you shouldn't have too many troubles going down to Route 16 or back towards the airport. I am looking at some mild congestion on Route 14, Chalon, San Antonio. So right around where the Guam Premier outlets are, all the way to St. Anthony Catholic School. Some minor congestion. Actually, I would reverse it. From St. Anthony Catholic School to the ITC intersection, there are some minor delays there. Helping you move forward on this Thursday afternoon, that's Guam Auto Spot. Schedule that test drive today. Oh, and I saw it. It's a Humvee.
It's a Humvee?
It's a Humvee, that sexy tank.
Okay.
That is out there on the corner of Guam Auto Spot.
Sexy and intimidating.
Yeah.
Much
so
like my girlfriend.
I didn't know they I didn't know they sell Humvees. But there's a Humvee on the lot.
You know, I'm going to take a picture and say, babe, this is all you. Yeah, it's like I don't even drive a Humvee.
How much do they go for? 100,000, right?
Yeah, 100,000.
Upwards?
Yeah.
That one looks like it's about 100,000. Check it out.
Yeah, the Humvee is sexy and intimidating. That's all you. The 100,000, not all me.
Check it out on their inventory. Hopefully it's there, right, on their website, guamautospot.com. Again, the number to Guam Auto Spot, 478-AUTO.
Hafa Adai Guam, over the last 2 years, we have built strong relationships, opened new doors, and created real opportunities for our island. Those partnerships continue to grow stronger, and together, we are making meaningful progress for Guam. Early voting for 2026 primary elections begins July 9th and runs through July 25th at the Westin Resort. Tuesdays through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now is not the time to lose momentum. The foundation has been laid, the relationships have been built, and opportunities before Guam have never been greater. Your vote will help ensure we continue moving forward together. I humbly ask for your support and your vote. Let's keep building a stronger future for Guam. I'm James Moylan, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by James Moylan for Congress. David L. Camacho, Treasurer.
Guam is building the future, and the right conversations start here. SCME Guam Post invites you to the 2026 Industry Forum happening July 28 through 30 at the Dusit Thani Resort. Join military, government, and industry leaders as they come together to discuss Guam's future in infrastructure, resilience, and regional growth. This premier event connects you to Guam's next generation of infrastructure. Registration is open. Visit GuamIndustryForum.com. The 2026 SCME Industry Forum, delivering Indo-Pacific readiness.
It all connects. The girl who walks for hours to bring home the family's water, the school she can't attend most days, the breakfast she didn't have, the rain that hasn't fallen in months, the danger around the next bend, her little brother's belly laugh, her mother's hug, her dreams of being a teacher, an engineer, the mayor. All the reasons life is both so hard and so beautiful. It all connects. But so do we, for children's sakes. At Child Fund, we connect through everything we do, together, so every child can grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Because we need each other. Learn more at childfund.org.
Half a day, Aganya. The afternoon slump is real. Why wait? Head over to Aganya Shopping Center and cool down with refreshing boba from Cha Time or a sweet shaved ice from Snowberry. Craving something warm and fresh? Follow your nose to the aroma of Cinnabon or a classic bite from Pretzel Maker. And before you head home, stop by SM Island to load up on your favorite sweet and savory snacks for the weekend. With endless parking and a gazillion choices, your perfect afternoon escape is right here at Aganya Shopping Center. The road to Adelup is set. This time, we sit down with Democrat candidates Senator Joe San Agustin and former Senator Dwayne St. Nicholas. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 8th on the Wave 105 YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a Glimpses of Guam radio station.
We've only just begun to live. White lace and promises, a kiss for luck, and we're on our way.
And just when we thought, after the long budget session, right, here comes Bill 9, what?
This is like, I think, the 9th time that the governor has sent down a bill. But it's still Bill 1 because they never passed any of her bills.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, all right, we only just begun. We got through the mayors, and now we're going to go through the airport, the hospital, and then after that, supplemental budget.
Yeah. The child care, the money that isn't going to get... maybe there's still hope that it will be reimbursed, all this money that they
already spent.
Well, and also looking to disperse more money to these child care services, right, through the block grants.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're already providing this program, a federal program, and
it was to cover the shortfalls from the federal
government. The federal government is like, there are other priorities. The federal government is not... What is happening right now with the spending in the federal government? They're not spending less. They're just they're not continuing with certain programs, federal wide programs.
Exactly.
And then they're just moving money.
Yeah.
To other priorities. Yeah. And
I think the problem with Guam, aside from the natural disasters that we have with the typhoons and whatnot, but when you look at the past, where we were late in spending the money because they gave us a deadline, it's like there were many times. I mean, thankfully, U.S. GDOE gave us some time to utilize the money, or else we would have lost it. And because they were going to pull it out, and that was like millions.
Right.
So but. They, it's like, okay, well, you guys got enough time. Well, we're going to extend this and everything. But Guam they have to do a better job, man. Really, Guam has to do a better job. If you get $100 million from the federal government and it says you need to spend it in 3 years, spend it in 2. You can't, it just mind boggles me.
Some of the problems, right? When we look at what Public Auditor B.J. Cruz said, we just don't have enough people that have the know-it-all to manage grants.
Yeah, to manage grants and then, speed up the process through the procurement process, right? But I don't know. It's hard.
He wants these administrators or anybody that is going to be managing grants, especially federal grants, that they need to take courses.
Yes.
Otherwise, in his words, they're just paper pushers.
Yeah. I mean, we had Senator Tello here yesterday, and she told us she has been going through so many different mods. Like, how many mods? For procurement.
Yeah.
And
some of the other senators are not.
They don't even look at it.
Yeah.
But which is really bad because it doesn't do us any. I mean, if if you want to understand the procurement process, don't understand it on session floor. You should have already had like some sort of knowledge going in.
To what Mary Okada has said, the president, former president of GCC, she's like, the procurement process in Guam is not broken.
It's not.
We're following it.
Yeah, GCC is prime example of that. And, she is the poster child. Every time they have the budget, normally...
It's a difference of philosophy and opinion, too, because I've also had some conversations where they're saying, yes, it is, and there's just not enough teeth either, to hold people accountable, especially when they are, again, to me, it's a difference of opinion, because one person might say, this is frivolous.
Yeah.
And another person will be like, no, this is warranted.
Yeah.
Right? And so then you have to take it to the officials and they decide.
Should a bid be challenged?
However, if it is frivolous, however they decide that it is, there should be, Alex Duenas agreed that there should be some fines implemented because you wasted everybody's time here and you slowed this process down. And who are the losers?
The taxpayers.
The students, ultimately, if we're talking about Simon Sanchez. There are now middle school students that never walked into a permanent classroom.
Wow.
Right? I mean, high school students that went through their entire middle school.
Hey, did you have to did you have to go that
and
route?
they're probably not
think.
going to even have their own high school because of what happened with FBLG. They double sessioned over to Ukadu.
Yeah.
Right? And so now they're high school students going to Tizan this year.
Yeah.
And the longer that this delay continues, the less it's just not. Look at it. It is not realistic. There's no realistic timeline anymore for a 9th grader of Simon Sanchez to walk in their senior year into Simon Sanchez. That's not a realistic timeline anymore because the current Simon Sanchez is still standing. We haven't really gone anywhere.
I honestly, man, we are just moving butt backwards pretty much because when you think about it, everybody's arguing about how to build a school and what to do with a school and how to do it, and we're still on the other hand, still trying to decide where to put the new hospital.
Well, and then here's also the concern too, is the longer we delay this, the more people will start to say, Basta, you wasted too much time.
Yeah.
You know what the new initiative is? Charter school.
Yeah.
Right? That's what the longer we stall on this, the longer it takes for Simon Sanchez, you will have more people in this community that will argue, and you might start to see an increase in those people, especially decision makers, that say, Basta, the population of GDOE is shrinking.
It's dwindling.
And we heard Judy Wampat say this on the record already, that the numbers today continue to shrink. Continue to shrink.
And it's, when you consider, students leaving island with their families, when you consider students going to Dodea over here, pulling their students out, and then when you consider the way the structure is, and with all of the double sessions and whatnot, honestly, pulling my students out, my child out from a public school might. Because you got to think, look at the pressure that you're putting the child on, waking up at 4 a.m, to do, man, and then just to go to school and then get off 12, and then the next session comes in and they don't come home till about 7. I do agree with you on the charter schools that we may see an increase in them.
It's inevitable when there's so much delay, and you still see the population dropping. More people will say, we have some callers that'll be like, it's not responsible anymore.
Yeah.
it's not financially responsible.
Of course.
Why are you going to build this school that's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars?
And our student base is not
and our
even there.
student base doesn't. Yeah, you're right. Like it's not comparing to the levels of before. And so build. I don't know about building smaller schools, but that will become a conversation. Even unless we continue to, our leaders have to also pressure the federal government and argue that we need to integrate again with the DOD families.
Well, that's never going to happen. Yeah.
It happened before, though. It's never going to happen if our leaders are not going to have the conversation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who's willing to have the conversation? That's a conversation to bring up to those that are running for Congress. Are you willing to have that conversation? Are you willing to it can happen because it has happened before. And when you look at their own infrastructure, they also are going to have to spend more money on their infrastructure and their facilities. And we know that there are also delays in getting them even an HVAC system that's reliable at some of their child care centers on base. And that's not new either. Anderson Air Force Base, for a long time, before Mauar, was experiencing AC problems. And then Mauar came and just made it worse. I don't know how many times people were sending us back then these photos of signs on the door and no reasonable time frame to let families know that the child care center is being closed. That's on base. That was happening.
Yeah.
So, and then look at the housing. They're only replacing some of their old homes on base. They're not increasing that inventory. And so if our delegate has the conversation with the military saying, listen, we're building schools, you should reintegrate. If you really want to talk about one community, one island approach, that this is U.S. soil, that this is the, when we talk about national defense, we are protecting American soil here in Guam, then you should put your money where your mouth is. You should start to say, this is one community. How do you prove that? Investing in the infrastructure outside the base too, not just underground. We see the importance of doing that, of hardening the infrastructure underground, but also, integrating your students with ours. And yeah, I mean, that may never happen, but it has happened before. And there are great experiences of when that has happened. People have said they've had wonderful experiences. Will there always be the negative? Yeah, there'll be. There's always a positive and there's always a negative. But who's willing to have that conversation? Because that can be a solution to solve some of our issues when it comes to not being able to maintain our facilities.
Yeah.
We can cost share with the federal government.
Well, we've done it once before.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were fully integrated.
Yeah.
And gosh, even one of the students that became an astronaut was a
McCool.
public
He
school
went to
student.
JFK.
Yeah. So hey, they can't tell me that the public school system here is not good. I mean, it was good enough to make that guy become an astronaut. So
yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
everything.
Pride. It's pride. It's something.
All
to
of
be
the
prideful.
conversations are, we should have all of these conversations. Possibly reintegrating, possibly downsizing even more, because I don't know. I maybe things will change.
Well, it's. I'm glad that we're having this conversation about education, because the two people that we will be having here as our guest on Beyond the Ballot,
They would know, right? One's a principal.
one's an educator,
Yeah.
and a former senator, and the other one is a
Former
chair
chairman of the Guam Education Board.
You know, Angel Sablan and former Senator Will Castro, and
Yeah.
education is their thing. So
Yeah.
it's going to be, get your questions ready.
Yeah, I mean, there are the conversation needs to be had. I think that, again, I don't agree with other people's opinions or solutions, but that doesn't mean I'm not, I don't think that they shouldn't be voicing those. Right? You and I, we don't always agree, but
Yeah.
we respect each other.
Yeah, I try to be wrong 99% of the time. I really do. I mean, I struggle with it.
Yeah. I'm not here to change Ryan's mind on anything.
I'll tell you, my girlfriend, she's, if I told her that, I probably wouldn't have a girlfriend anymore.
Yeah. and so again, I've said it before and I'll still say it today. Too much lip service.
Yeah.
Too many promises to the Simon Sanchez stakeholders.
Mm-hmm.
Now you must fulfill that promise.
Yes.
So that's all I will say on that. That does not mean that there are other people saying things in secret or whispering or just calling in and saying that's not financially responsible anymore when you're seeing a decrease in population. That's a fact. That is a fact.
I liken it.
That's a
to
fact
this.
that we have dropped in our population.
I liken it to this, right? Do you get a sports car, right? Knowing you have like 5 kids, and you're getting a 2-seater Miata, right? No, it doesn't make any sense, right? So let's do we get a an SUV that sits 5 people
Right.
when it's just you and your wife?
That's why I don't like anything government that starts with the words state of the art.
Oh yeah.
Just standard. All we need to do is meet the standard. Why do you think federal buildings look boring?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you think federal buildings look bland?
The terminology should be the standard art.
Federal buildings don't look like state-of-the-art architectural phenomenon.
As long as it can function as what it's supposed to be, you don't need anything else.
Yeah.
And so it's state of the art.
Yeah. I cringe anytime there's anything state-of-the-art this. And what are we doing? This is government? This is a government building? Yeah, I don't agree.
The
But-
word
but-
state of the art means it's expensive, and so it goes back to that one saying my dad always told me. You cannot live the champagne life with bare salary.
Yeah, but people will argue against me saying, "Hey, you need to dream big." I'm like, "Oh, dream big with your own money then."
Because I got nightmares.
Dream big with your own money, not taxpayer money. 4 o'clock on the dot. Let's take the break.
Let's take the break.
All right, KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. House Republicans have passed a $95 billion budget proposal. The vote was 216 to 214, with 2 Republicans and 1 independent joining Democrats in opposition. House Speaker Mike Johnson says there's a lot in it.
House Republicans passed the Clean CR to keep the government funded responsibly, the Stop Insider Trading Act that bans lawmakers from trading and buying individual stocks.